Hi, my name is Carissa and welcome to another video, and in this one I'm doing 21 books I want to read in 2021. For this list I filled it with books I already own or I have pre-ordered. I've seen other people do it on books that they fancy reading and they don't own, and that stresses me out because I sometimes pick up books really randomly and I don't want to have to rely on I have to pick up this book that I don't currently own. I just want to be like, hey, it's on my bookshelf, I'm gonna read it now. And that's just my general thoughts. So yeah, let's get into the list. So I did make this list before the start of the year, but I have already read a couple and I'm currently reading the third one on my list. And the first one is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. As you can see, I've actually annotated this. And I really enjoyed this book. It's a very hard-hitting book, it's very difficult to read, but I absolutely adored it. It's about a group of 4 college friends. As they grow older, it focuses more on one of them, which I never realised going into this book, mainly because I didn't do my research. I just picked up because someone said, hey, this is a good book. I didn't actually pay attention to the fact that this is a very hard-hitting and very emotionally debilitating book. I adored it, but please, if you think about going into this book, do your research and be aware of what you're going into. I will put the trigger warnings for it down below, just in case you're interested and want to look into it further. But yeah, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And the next book on this list is actually my second manga that I read this year so far, and that is Orange. This is about a girl who gets letters from her future self telling her a new guy's coming to school, spend time with him, look after him, and she's not entirely sure at the beginning why. Why is she getting letters from her future self? Why is she now having to worry about this guy? But yeah, very, very good series. I have read the first one, haven't read the second one yet as of filming this, but yeah, I've already achieved my goal of reading the first one. So, Orange. The next book on this list I'm currently reading, and that is Never Let Me Go. It follows a woman, Kathy, as she comes to the end of her career as a carer and kind of explores her growing up. And yeah, there is a film of this as well, if anyone hasn't heard of this. It has Carey Mulligan, Keira Knightley and Andrew Garfield in it, and the film was very like, oh. So I'm curious how the book's going to turn out because the film destroyed me. But yeah, Never Let Me Go. Next one I've actually owned for a while, and that is Godblind by Anna Stephens. All I know about this is that it's grimdark and it seems to be an epic fantasy series in which someone's going to invade a kingdom in which they've been shut out of and trying to take it back. I'm curious, and this has been in my bookshelf for a little while now, so Godblind by Anna Stephens. The next book I have to read is one by an author I really like, and that is Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a kind of sliding doors concept in which the character has a night out, and it's where she goes out with her best friend or her ex-boyfriend, I believe, and sees how the night goes if she had picked either option. And the next book is The Betrayals by Bridget. I absolutely adored her previous book, The Binding, hence why I picked her next book up with the special pages. And it's about a guy's return to the academy in which he was disgraced from. I'm really curious what her follow-up is to The Binding because that book was so good to me that I don't know how she's going to top it. But yeah, The Betrayals. And the next 2 books I'm going to talk about are both pre-orders, and that is Malibu Rising and Klara and the Sun. And I'm looking forward to both of these. One of them I believe is about a robot, and I'm not really sure what the other one's about, Malibu Rising, but I do love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing, so I kind of just pre-ordered that because it was a signed edition. I thought I need to buy all of her books, and Klara and the Sun is one that I've heard a lot of buzz about as well, so I'm really, really excited to read that one as well. The next one is one I planned to read last year, and that is The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I enjoyed the BBC adaptation of The Musketeers, and it made me kind of want to go and read that actual book. It's very chunky, and the only reason why I didn't read it last year is because my audiobook is a different translation from the physical copy, and I kind of ended up being like, I don't know what to do, because it says the same things but they're different words, so if you want to follow along it's really frustrating because it's saying the same thing but all the words are different. But yeah, I hope to get to this year, whether it's the audiobook copy or the physical copy, or I just have to suck it up and just deal with 2 different translations. And the next book I've got is Mythos or Mythos. I'm suddenly confused how to pronounce this. If anyone else gets like this when they start filming, in which they suddenly go, I can't actually remember how to pronounce this. But this is by Stephen Fry. I'm really getting into Greek mythology because I've really enjoyed Circe and the Song of Achilles, and I've got other books on this list as well that deal with Greek mythology, so I really want to kind of keep exploring it. And Stephen Fry, brilliant author, so yeah. And speaking of the Greek mythology, I have 2 books here by the same author, which I didn't realise when I picked them up, but that is 1,000 Ships and Pandora's Jar by Natalie Haynes. And they're both Greek mythology books that kind of focus more on women, and if anyone has read Greek mythology, you'll know women that are kind of stood all over and kind of treated like crap. So I really want to kind of explore these. This cover is absolutely beautiful, and I picked these up in the same order, not knowing it was the same author, but now I'm very, very excited because they are the same author, and yes. The next book is Beartown by Frederik Backman. I read his Deal of a Lifetime at Christmas last year, and I really, really enjoyed it, so I thought, hey, let's pick up a book that a lot of people have read, a lot of people talk about. I have heard this has got a lot of characters in it to try and get your head around, but I'm really, really excited for the challenge. So yeah, Beartown. The next book I actually picked up in the same order as Beartown, and that is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, who's got a lot of buzz recently about her witches book, and I thought, hey, I'm going to check this out, because this came up on Orbit's Twitter account, I think, a while ago. It kind of came up with prompts and recommended books for those prompts. Can't remember what the prompt was, but I remember I kept seeing this book in every bookshop kind of faced out, and it kind of hypnotised me into buying it. So yeah, 10 Doors of January. And the next book is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. So I picked this up whenever this got released. I've really gone off Leigh Bardugo's writing since picking this up, so this is more of a kind of like, might as well read it before her Netflix series comes out and before the sequel comes out. Then I can decide, hey, I want to continue on with it, or go, you know what, I've had enough of her writing, and kind of call it off. This follows Nikolai from the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and he was my favourite character, so I am curious how this turns out, but I've heard a lot of people say it's quite boring. So we'll see. King of Scars. And this is one of the first books I picked up when I got back into reading, and that is The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. And the back of it just says, he lived his life like clockwork until he met the watchmaker. And I've always been very curious about this book. I've just never got to it, and I really need to get to it this year. See if I like it, and then I'll continue on with the series if I do. But Watchmaker! And the next book I picked up was completely random at the charity shop, and that is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. This has got a lot of buzz, and I know it's more historical, and I don't read historical, so this is kind of a bit of a challenge book for me. And it's a beautiful Waterstones edition, which, you know, was really random to find at a charity shop for like £2. It's one that I'm really, really interested in. So The Miniaturist. This one I picked up ages ago as well, and that is The Animators by Kayla Ree Whitaker, I think. And I started reading this before, got a bit bored, so I'm curious if I actually will enjoy it this time. It explores 2 kind of outsiders creating animation together. I remember this got a lot of buzz, I think, on Goodreads at the time, but yeah, still own it, so I kind of want to check it out. If I hate it, I can unhaul it. Next book is one I've meant to pick up for ages, and that is Joanne M. Harris, The Blue Salt Road. I've seen someone going on about this on Goodreads. I believe it's to do with Selkies, and a lot of people have buzzed about it, so I'm really curious to pick this up. So yeah, The Blue Salt Road. And that leads me to my last book, unless I've miscalculated, and that is Arcanium Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson. This is on my list because I want to try and read all the Cosmo universe, and it is a goal of mine this year to actually explore it and understand how it works, because I've read his books, don't really understand how the Cosmo universe works. So yeah, this is my goal, to try and get through all the novellas and kind of understand how everything works together. So that is it. My camera has been running out of battery for this whole entire time, so if I've seemed rushed at any point it's because I've tried to get it done. But yeah, I'll leave my socials down below and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!